All right, you get in here. Get in here. Just the person wanted to see, too. You doing okay? Of course you are. You're above ground, you're still breathing, and you're about to watch an unboxing video with your boy, Screwface Capone, the gaming mobster. Alright, today we are taking a look at the Atari Gamestation Pro. I know you guys see this everywhere you go, and I'm a little bit late to the party because it came out last fall, but I always wanted to get a chance to take a look at this. So what this is a plug-and-play device from MyArcade. And if you watch this channel, I filmed another unboxing videos with other MyArcade products. You'll remember the Bases Loaded one. You'll remember the Namco mini arcade cabinet, or even that video I did like years back where I took a look at that handheld Data East console with like the 8 Nintendo games and hundreds of shovelware titles. So basically I got this like a few weeks ago off eBay. I didn't want to pay full price for it. So, of course the tape was already moved, but they said that this was like new. So here's what you pretty much get in the box. You get the 2 joysticks and you get the console itself. Now, unlike most plug-and-play devices, particularly the ones I look at, this isn't based on any one system architecture. So if you look at the back, then you'll notice that this actually has games from the 2600, the 5200, the 7800, the arcade, and you got some bonus games. And if you remember that video that I shot a while back, then you'll know that those bonus games actually consist of non-Atari games that were licensed and released through Pico Interactive. Again, if you're familiar with retro collecting or just retro compilations, then you probably came across the name Pico Interactive. They buy up licenses for old titles and they re-release them in several formats. So now this is like actually in comparison to something like, say, the Amiga 500 Mini or the recent Atari system that just came out that like focused on the 8-bit home computer stuff, or like the Commodore Maxi. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this up, see what's inside the box, and we're gonna play it for a little bit, try to get some game footage. But if you're new to the channel, then I like to go over retro games. I like to cover indie titles. I like to do documentaries, and I also like to do unboxings, just like the one you're about to see right now. So if that sounds interesting to you, then what you want to do is hit that big red subscribe button. You can join the Mafia, and I'll make you a made man. If you want to do one better, hit that bell icon, and you'll be the first to know whenever I put out new content. So now that I got the way, let's see what's in the box. Alright, so here we are. We're going to go ahead and flip this up. And here it is, the MyArcade Atari. So let's see what's in this little red box. So you got your instruction booklets, the certificate of authenticity. And there's this little thing. So you get batteries. Additional batteries. I assume that these are both for the joysticks. I assume these are charge cables. I don't know if this originally came with 2. But here are the joysticks themselves. So here they are. You got so you got the joystick. You got this dialing pad on here. You got the A and the B buttons. You got these little You got these little buttons down here. And then you got the unit itself. This is the Gamestation Pro. So you got the power button and you got the home button. So I assume this takes you back to the menu. And of course you got your plugs on the back of here. There's the power cable and there's the HDMI. I think there's also a way to sideload. There's also a port where you could sideload games on here with a mini card, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh, and here's the part where you will like plug the controllers into. So these are USB-C ports. So again, I only get it looks like I only got like one cable. I'm not even sure this is like the correct one, but you can always buy a cheap one at the store. Let's see if there's anything else in here. Yikes. Yeah, so that's just an empty box. See, that is like really cool design. Like okay, here's the micro SD slot that I was talking about. Let's see if I can get in the frame here. But there it is. I think you can sideload games on this device. I'm not 100% sure. But like the design of this thing, you kind of got that cool little retro design. Like this actually looks like that's something that Atari would have put out during the 80s heyday or something. I mean, of course, it obviously wouldn't have all these like newer plug types like the USB-C and the HDMI, but this definitely looks like something that if you grew up during the 80s and you were playing video games, you could easily have something like this in your house. So now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and hook this up. We're going to take a look at the menus, and we'll give some initial thoughts. Alright, so now that I'm plugged in, we're going to go ahead and turn this on, like so. And I just did a firmware update, so what I'll do in the description, I'll link to you to a page and another YouTube video that can show you how to do the firmware update. So I actually played this early before the firmware update, so I noticed that the interface to select games is slightly different. But you can use this top bar right here to choose between different formats. Or you can choose like paddle games, multiplayer, and even recently played. So there's not a whole lot of 5200 or 7800. Most of the stuff on here is going to be 2600. That's pretty much a given. But there's a good amount of arcade games on here. Let's take a look at one of the arcades. Here's Crystal Castles. So right now I'm playing this with the joystick in my hand. Now I never really played a lot of I never really had an Atari 2600 or any other Atari system growing up. So I really don't. So the most exposure I've had to these types of games is with these compilations and these mini devices that came out. So I guess this is pretty much like Pac-Man, except in 3D. And I got killed. So far, so good. The stick feels okay. You got the last gem. So if you press this light switch button on the back controller, then you can bring up the save state. I guess for this one, the save menu is not supported, which kind of makes it superfluous. We're going to step out and try another game now. And here's some 7800 games. We can try something like let's do Alien Brigade. That is pretty much close to Nintendo quality. So this is obviously a light gun shooter, and I'm not sure there was ever a light gun. There's a light gun accessory for the 7800. You try to play these types of games with a joystick, it's kind of hard. Yeah, I'm gonna step out. So I wonder if there's like a way you can use like third-party controllers with this thing. Check out a 2600 game. Got all the good stuff like Asteroids, Atari Video Cube, Basic Math. I wouldn't say all the good stuff, just like a good amount. You also got some Activision games too. Like one thing I noticed about like a lot of these Atari compilations and a lot of these Atari plug and plays is that it's usually either Activision or it's strictly Atari. But since this is like a third party manufacturer, then they got both on here. And here's boxing from Activision. Of course, Activision was, of course, one of the first third-party game developers on here. I think it was the first. Alright, come on, Holyfield. See, growing up, my dad had an Intellivision, and shortly after that, we started playing Nintendo. So that was my retro system of choice. Oh, let's try something else. Let's take a look at some of the bonus games. So these are all the non-Atari games. So this is Mighty Warriors. Let's check this out. This looks like an actual one-on-one fighting game. I think it is. Oh, let's see. Yeah, so it's cheap 90s goodness. Oh, there's blood. Oh, we can change it over people. Because I don't know how to do any of the moves. Oh, got my ass kicked. I wish I would have known about this game before I did my fighting games you never heard of list. Uh-oh. Damn, that's loud. Turn that down just a little bit. Have you still got enough teeth to eat today? Let's pick this guy. Midato and Raitas. So he fights with a trident and a net. What's he do? Like a cattle herder or some shit? I think one missed opportunity for this segment though is for like Atari to put some of their later arcade games on here. Yeah, let's try something else. So of course you got stuff like Switchblade on here, Brave Battle Saga. If you're familiar with any of these plug and play devices or any of these retro compilations, then no doubt you've probably seen the name Pico on here at least one time or another. I wish I got water margin. By the way, one of the next videos I'm working on is like a list of beat 'em ups you never heard of, or rather underrated beat 'em ups. Water margin, the tale of clouds and wind. So this has to be the Sega Genesis version, because there are obviously not enough buttons for Super NES version. It's kind of weird playing a Sega Genesis game with with what's essentially Atari 2600 joystick. Kind of like hampers it a little bit. Yeah, so I think I'm going to try something else. We'll do one more title. Let's do one of the paddle games. And what better way to check this baby out than with Breakout? Ah. Shoot. Okay. Yeah, the paddleball takes a little bit to get a hang with. Takes a bit of time to get a hang with. It takes a little bit to get used to. I think there's some kind of way you can tweak the settings of it. Let me do that real quick. Select overview. Oh yeah, you also got your usual. You got CRT, bezel art, scan lines, stuff like that. Or I thought they had a way to like adjust the sensitivity, but oh well. But anyway, I think I'll do. I think I'll play around with this a little bit more, then maybe I'll do a follow up video if you want to see one. But I think I'm gonna exit out and give some final thoughts. All right, so I'm back. So one other thing I wanted to show you is like the lighting effects. So when you push this on, you can. It's kind of hard to see, but okay, now you can see it clear. But you can see like all the little cool light up things. Same thing with the joystick. Let me try. Let me show you guys that real quick. But yeah, I think so far I'm definitely liking what I see. If you're on the fence about this kind of thing, do what I do and try to see if you can find it at like some discount or probably get it off eBay or something like that. Um, so I kind of like how there's like a different variety of Atari games. So as you can see, like I said earlier, like unlike other plug and play devices, this isn't really centered around one system. It's like a variety of different Atari products. You also had those extra games on there. I think that while they're a nice touch, playing some of the 16 and 8-bit titles with what's essentially Atari 2600 joystick kind of feels a bit cumbersome, and I'm hoping there's a way, or I kind of wish there was a way that you can use like third-party controllers with this. But it looks like you can also sideload games on here. But if you kind of want to do that, then unless they came up with a way to like change the controller compatibility, then if you want to do something like that, your best bet would probably be to get something like a Raspberry Pi or something. Um, but still, though, I do like what I see so far. The big thing is the number of games on here. If you don't mind playing those extra games with this kind of joystick, then you'll get some enjoyment out of them. And this thing is definitely better designed than most of what I've seen from MyArcade thus far. It's almost on the level of something from At Games, especially when you take a look at the boxing. As far as Atari themselves, they've been cooking a lot. They've been doing a lot of work, like capitalizing like off their past success and like introducing like instead of like trying to compete as a like software developer or game manufacturer. I mean, they still put out games too, but they're putting out more hardware, like the Atari 2600 Plus that also came out last fall, and they've also worked with a company to put out that Atari 8-bit computer system, which I'll be picking up soon. They also a few years ago they also worked with At Games to put out that 50th anniversary plug and play device for the Atari 2600. It's got a mixture of Atari games and Activision games. So that's more geared toward the 2600 lineup. And I mentioned the 2600 Plus before. That's like a HD revamp of the old 2600 hardware, complete with new games and stuff. So, and plus you got that compilation with the 50th anniversary stuff with the 2600 all the way to the Jaguar games. So it's definitely a good look. Like if you're new to Atari or you're new to gaming or you're interested in retro gaming, then you can learn about like what was essentially one of the biggest names in gaming at the time. They gave you stuff like Pong, Missile Command, Breakout, all that good stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely going to play around with this some more. Try to see like everything this thing has to offer. Like I said, I installed the firmware update, and I'll link you guys to where you can learn how to do that yourselves. So, again, what I want to touch upon earlier is the thing's design. So, this actually looks while this isn't really based on any Atari hardware. This actually looks like something that they could have put out during the 80s, except maybe like make it a bit bigger or whatever. Put a cartridge slot on there. Um, yeah. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Do you got one of these things? What are some of your favorite games on here? And what are your thoughts about that? Just let me know in the comments. I know I'm just rambling right now, but it's getting late. But like I said before, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and join the mafia. I'll make you a made man. And if you want to learn, and if you want to see more cool gaming related devices, I got a whole playlist of this kind of thing. It's called Screwface's Toy Chest. The playlist just popped up on your screen just now, and check that out. In the meantime, you have a great rest of your week, and I'm outie, 51,000G, y'all.